other stuff. Mike, Mad Dog McNatty, thanks for tuning in on this fine Monday morning. Great to have you here. It's just got a good show for you today, but just a couple things on kind of a personal note. I want to give a shout out to my wife, Rosemary. We celebrated our 46th anniversary Saturday, and the woman still likes me. She's a beautiful, intelligent woman, but for some reason, there's just something about me that she likes, and I thank God for that, literally. She's a beautiful gal. So, honey, thanks to 46. Let's do 46 more. But yeah, we had a good time. Went over to Seattle, went to the Mariners game on Saturday. Happy our marriage was a success. Sorry for the Mariners, whatever. But hey, there's always next year, right? But this anniversary thing reminded me, when we went to marriage counseling when we first started, the counselor who was counseling us for premarital counseling said to my wife, now you need to remember, Rosie, there's always going to be one of your kids who's going to refuse to grow up and leave the home. And Rosie said, yeah, well, who's that? And he said, well, your husband. Okay. All right, now, and a friend of mine asked me, he said, are you prepared for fall? And I said, yes, I am, okay? I've got an underground bunker built. I've got a year's supply of food and water stashed, and I have weapons and plenty of ammunition. And he looked at me and said, I meant the change of seasons, not the fall of civilization. My guest is laughing, but he's being quiet about it. But hey, look, I've got a really interesting show today. I've got a cool guest coming on, going to give us some good information about his particular life and the lives of other people who share his experience. But hey, street talk and other stuff. Mike, Mad Dog McNatty, you stick around. We will be right back.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Hi, everybody. Dan Coos alongside Jesse Coble from Alpine Air. There's ice on my heat pump and under my heat pump.
Well, ice under your heat pump is normal. When we go into a defrost cycle, it melts the frost off, creates water, which freezes to the ground. Ice around your heat pump is a thing that you should probably give us a call about.
Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air for heat and air. Call Alpine Air. Thanks, Jesse.
Thanks.
Come to Kashmir Saturday, October 7th for the Pioneer Village Festival. Here are a few highlights your family can enjoy. Experience gold panning, sipping sarsaparilla in the saloon, riding a pony, or playing the fun and educational activities. It's the Pioneer Village Festival in Kashmir, October 7th, and be sure to thank our supporters of this message.
Epidolin Retirement and Assisted Living for seniors in a home-like atmosphere.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Hey, now we're back, and my guest, Bob Stowell. Bob, good to have you. Now, Bob and I, this is the first time we met today, but we have a mutual friend who once contacted me and said, hey, you should have Bob on, and so here you are.
Here I am.
It's been a while for us to work it out, but nice to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here.
My pleasure. A little bit about yourself, my friend.
Born and raised here in Wenatchee.
Yeah.
Families growing up.
Yeah, you've been married how long, you said?
I've been married for 27 years.
All right, okay, baby. Okay, good. 2 kids, or both adults?
2 kids, both adults, both working, doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very happy with the way that they ended up.
Good.
So, outside of that, work here at the local hospital.
Yeah, you do IT.
I do
We're
IT
talking
out
about.
there. You know.
Okay, well, that's good, you
What
know.
else is there?
What do you do for fun?
For fun,
Well, you work graveyard,
I
so
work
you
graveyard.
can't possibly
There's
have too much fun.
fun. Going to fun is going to the grocery store. I do like to play music. I play guitar, I play accordion. You know, I enjoy the music scenes here in the Valley. I've always enjoyed the music scenes here.
And I will have to check, you mentioned you got YouTube videos of you playing the accordion. So.
Well, Facebook.
Facebook, that's right, I'm sorry.
I'm too nervous to put them out quite that spread, but yeah.
But I will check it out.
Yeah, it's always been a fun hobby. I know there's a couple, probably Carlos and a few others that are like, no, he's not an accordionist. It's more of a hobby than a music, but yeah.
Well, there's a friend of mine, Don Myers, who's plays the accordion, and we always tease him about it. You know? And
It is
course,
one of the more comical.
well, my mom played the accordion too. Well, she was German, and for some reason that was okay for a German to play the accordion. But you know, of course, the Gary Larson cartoon. You know the one I'm talking about? It's a split screen, and at the top, somebody's going to heaven, and the angel says, "Here, come to heaven, here's your harp." And at the bottom, the person's going to hell, says, "Welcome to hell, here's your..." I'm sorry.
No, it's. I thought you were gonna go with the one where the wife is being, you know, someone's breaking into the house, the wife's
yeah,
tied
that
up,
one
and
too,
like,
yeah.
take my husband's accordion, please.
Yeah, I've seen that one too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then, you know, the thing we wanted to talk about today, all right, dwarfism, all right? You are a dwarf.
Correct.
Tell us what that means for you in society. I mean, you know, what we want is your experience. We want some education, because I wasn't even sure when I asked Bob on if using the term dwarf is acceptable. I know some people don't like it. What can you tell us about yourself and your experience that will help those of us who are ignorant of what your life is like and what you experienced, that help us be more, you know, sensitive to you and more appreciative of what you offer? So
Yeah, well, and being that it's October,
yeah.
October is Dwarfism Awareness Month.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
We started this back in 2009.
Okay.
I say we as in the Little People of America community. There's an actual organization called Little People of America. And it started back in 2009 to help bring awareness of, you know, our greatness, our stories, our struggles, try to lay flat some of those stigmas, get people a little more comfortable.
Okay.
And so with that in mind, I thought this was a great opportunity to get on here and kind of let people know the do's, the don'ts, the facts that we're just average people
Okay,
trying to
yeah,
make a
of course.
living, you know, get out there. The type of, to start with, there's over 200 types of dwarfisms.
And that was something you mentioned off camera that I was not aware of that. I knew there were different types. There's actually 200 types.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you asked me back when I was just a wean, I thought there was only 2 types. And I know some of this wording is going to cringe some of my friends, but we grew up thinking that there was midgets and dwarfs.
Right.
The term midget nowadays is highly
It's not, it's
looked down.
offensive.
It's
Yeah.
offensive.
All right.
And so when I say it, I'm, you know, using it as the old term.
Sure.
And the 2 types that we thought were the type of dwarfism like I have, where I have an average size stature or torso,
Okay.
but the long arms need to be shorter.
Okay.
And then the midget term would have been the ones that we would have seen on like Wizard of Oz, that it was an actual pituitary
Yeah.
related dwarfism.
Okay, so those folks were more,
Just short all around.
okay, just generally, on how you put it, yeah.
Proportioned.
They were thanks. They were all
Yeah.
proportional, they just were short.
Yeah,
Okay,
correct.
interesting, all right.
Obviously, over the years, that's changed, and into the, you know, as medical knowledge gets bigger and what such, we find that there's, like I said, over 200 forms of short stature dwarfism. My type is called achondroplasia. Now, that's the most common type
All right.
that you're going to come across. there's 1 in 20,000 chance, plus or minus a few,
Okay.
that the baby will be born with the
And
achondroplasia
is that for anyone?
for anyone.
Okay, all right. Now, were your parents?
My parents were both average height.
Okay.
There's not a single line of anyone in my history that we know of that have dwarfism.
Yeah.
And then as I got married and with me and my spouse having children, she being average height, it gave us a 50-50 chance.
Okay, all right.
And we proved those odds with 1 average height daughter, 1 LP son. And you'll hear me term it as LP because it just shortens it down for little people.
Little people, okay, all right. Now, is little people okay? If I said, hey, this is my friend Bobby's little person, is that, you're gonna go, okay, I'm good
I'm
with
fine
that?
with that.
All right, okay.
If you say, hey, look at that midget across the street and start laughing,
I won't do
then we're gonna go rounds.
I promise.
Not that-
I promise. I do not want to go rounds with you, okay? All right.
So people ask me a lot of times too, with the having children, you know, how's the
Sure.
dwarfism, et cetera, et cetera. And one other fact that we've always shared is had she been a little person, had my wife had the same type of dwarfism, there's still a chance that you're going to have an average height child. There's the chance that you're going to have a dwarfism child, and then there's a slim chance that the child will have just a hard time surviving.
Okay, all right.
Without getting too morbid, so.
Well, no, I mean, that's part of the
so-
issue, is that sometimes it does affect longevity. of
Yeah,
somebody's life
it does.
as well,
So we showed those odds and we called it. And said, that's good, works for us.
Okay, all right. Now, when your parents, I mean, was there ever any research done to see what this genetic issue was in your family that's, you know,
You know, we're talking
if that question makes sense. so.
50 years ago. So, you know, there wasn't a lot. Children's Hospital over in Seattle, wonderful organization over
Sure.
there, did a lot to help educate. Excuse me. Because there's so many health concerns.
Sure.
Especially if you're not familiar. My parents, you know, when I was born, mom had some complications. Not necessarily so much of, well, let's face it, my head's huge. So there was some complications, everything turned out fine. Back then, you know, having any kind of a child with a child with any form of issues
Right.
was tough for a lot of people to swallow, you know.
Yeah, I would imagine, you know.
You still see it in some of these other countries where if the child isn't a healthy,
Yeah.
strapping, you know.
Yes,
tough,
yeah, aware of that.
yeah,
Terrible.
so, but my parents got, you know, they had a lot of resources to,
Okay.
you know, help.
And when did they know? Was it
At birth.
They could tell at birth, okay. all right.
Yeah, yeah, and my family's always been very supportive.
Yeah.
We've always had a good, tight family.
Okay.
Growing up, you come across a lot of issues that,
Yeah.
you know, not just physical and mental, but outside of that. Back to the physical, you know, issues, you think, well, what kind of health concerns are there, you know? And again, I can only speak for myself,
Sure.
my type of dwarfism, and my son, who, when he was born, we had a lot of issues with him too. Bradycardia, you know, apnea. Some of the concerns would be more with hydrocephalus,
Okay,
if I say that correctly. If
I
not,
think
I'm
so.
sorry.
Well, no, it's
Water in the brain.
yeah.
Spinal stenosis is a big one, and I went through my own rounds of that.
And what is spinal stenosis?
It's your spinal column has, you know, the cord that goes through
Right,
it.
that goes through your backbone.
And with achondroplasia, it anyways, it tightens up and it will pinch a lot of times.
Okay.
So causing problems in the head. Mine were in my lower back, causing all my legs to go numb all the time.
Okay.
Surgery a few years back has fixed that. and
Oh, good, all right.
I got a clean bill of health
Cool.
and fighting.
Okay. Now, dwarfism, though, that's a medical term, correct?
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
And
Dwarfism, yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
and of the other 200 types, is this all a genetic thing, or?
Most of the time, it's like mine was a sporadic sporadic mutation in the genetics. The ones that we look back, when we look back at like Willy Wonka, the ones that I termed earlier,
Right.
from brain slipping, Wizard of Oz.
Right.
That was actually a pituitary gland issue, and they found the way to fix that. I hate to use the word cure it, but they were able to
Treat the symptoms.
treat the symptoms.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah. As far as, the rest of the, genetic dwarfisms, there are agencies right now trying to come up with miracle cures.
Right.
I
Some
think
way
it's
to,
a bunch of rubbish,
yeah. You really?
Off the record, I would really give them an earful.
Okay.
My dwarfism has all the good times and bad times I've had. I would never change it.
Okay, oh, cool. It's interesting to see. But hey, we're talking with Bob Stowell. Bob is a little person and wanted to come talk about his issues. I'm going to have some more complicated questions for him when we come back, but we need to take a break. Okay, so Street Talk and other stuff. You stick around. We will be right back.
Have you been to Boswell's Furniture lately?
Yes, Boswell's has an expansive 2-story showroom filled with so many great choices for our living room, dining room, and bedroom.
Did you know that Boswell sells directly from their store inventory, so we wouldn't have to wait to get our new furniture?
Yes, plus Boswell's has free local delivery and complimentary design service to help us with the layout and fabric choices.
No waiting and amazing customer service. I mean, why would we go anywhere else?
Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
Welcome to the Columbia Basin Dispute Resolution Center. We are a local nonprofit serving Grant and Adams counties, helping businesses and people resolve difficult issues so they can move toward a better future. We offer help with workplace disputes, residential issues, family matters, and can train your staff in conflict prevention and resolution skills. Call us at 509-237-8401 to learn more.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether. We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Okay, we're back. Street Talk and other stuff. Talking with Mr. Bob Stowell. Bob is a person of short stature, a little person. And I've asked him on today to talk about some of the issues he has to help me and those of you watching better understand what you're going through and how we can just be empathetic and understanding. So, now a question. When we first came in, you were climbing up on the chair, okay? It's not as easy for you as for me. Would you have been offended if I said, hey, Bob, can I give you a hand? Or something like that? And there might be times, well, you mentioned like at the grocery store.
Yeah, no, I personally am not offended by it.
Okay.
Like I said, this isn't my first rodeo, so it happens, whether I'm at the local pub trying to get up on a stool there, at the restaurant, things like this. Grocery stores, there's many a times where I'm just standing and staring at that item that I need off the top shelf, waiting for someone to come by. They just come by, and if they don't catch it immediately, I'm like, can I borrow your height for a second, and grab some.
And you said you and your son have a technique where
you'll see us, he's light enough where he can do it. He jumps right onto the top shelf of the trolley and can get stuff down that way. At work, when I can't reach something, it's not uncommon to see me standing on a chair.
Yeah.
Sometimes with coasters. We've termed it a OSHA violation, just waiting to happen. But yeah, we adapt.
Yeah, well, I was talking to a friend who knew someone who was in the hospital after an operation to have their appendix taken out, and their nurse was a little person, and they carried a little stool around with them. You know, they put it down, got up, and actually helped this person because realized after the appendix operation, she was still in a lot of pain, and he said, "Wait a minute, you're not getting any pain medication."
That's cool. You come around my house and you're going to find a lot of adaptions.
Okay.
There's always been a rule at our house: if you ever see salad tongs, never move them.
Oh, because you've got them there in strategic
There's
places.
reasons that there's little grabbers everywhere.
Okay.
We adapt.
Okay, so little people in the population, what's the kind of percentage?
As I was mentioning before, it's 1 in every 20,000.
Okay, all right.
Is the chance of having a baby with dwarfism. As far as what there is out there on the streets right now, I don't know the real number.
Okay.
I know that the Little People of America organization will have national conventions every year where we all come together, families come together, and it gives us a chance to just relax, be where, you know, we're not.
Yeah, you're not constantly standing with your head leaning.
It's a good time for, especially for the Williams, to be able to kind of see that they aren't alone.
Right, right.
And at those conventions, we'll get anywhere about 2,000.
Okay.
That's including average height family members.
Okay.
You know, so I don't know what the whole number is. I know that there's, in our valley, there's me, my son, and one other child that I'm aware of.
Well, I know my granddaughter, Maya, is the editor for the school paper at Wenatchee High School, and there's a little person that she works with there. Matter of fact, I wanted to talk with them to ask them if...
I was thinking about inviting them, but if that would have pulled them from school.
Really? Now, you know this
I do.
Okay.
And without mentioning, I don't know what the, you know,
just-
keep the names out of it for now, but it was funny because back in the day, I'd have free time and I'd Google Wenatchee achondroplasia, Wenatchee, the M word, because I'd want to see if people were, you know, posting up stuff about me. I wanted to see, because not a day goes by where someone's not videotaping me behind my back.
Really?
Yeah, and that's anyhow. So I was bored and I was Googling.
What do these people have nothing else better to do?
I have stories that could curdle your milk. So I was looking it up, and there was a post of a lady here in town that was, you know, concerned because she just found out her son had achondroplasia, and there's no, you know, was really like any one of us would be concerned and looking for support. And I was like, hey, wait a second, you know, just so you know, me and my son live here.
Yeah, you reached out to her.
Yeah, at the same
good for you.
time,
Good,
her boss knew me from school. And he's like, oh, no, you got to get hold of Bob. He'll help you out, you know. And so we try to, you know, look out for each other.
Yeah, good.
And he's a good kid.
Yeah, that's important, because you said, I mean, I asked you off camera if you got crap at school, damn well already knowing the answer to that one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there was, times were different back then, and I'm sure it's still really tough these days.
Yeah, I hope they're better, though I have reason to doubt, but...
especially in, like, you take a small city like Wenatchee.
Sure.
We have a progressive mindset, I'd like to think. Especially when...
I'd like to think so.
That's another episode later. But I read stories from smaller towns, you know, like especially in the South. And there's kids that are going through a lot worse than I ever did. Growing up in our school system, there's plenty of lockers and, you know, cruel things that we do as kids.
Yeah. Well, children are cruel to just about everybody. Not to lessen, you know, the difficulties you've had with your experience, but, you know.
Well, and that's it, is, you know, people always ask, well, do you get tired of being poked and, you know, laughed at and this and that, and do you get an earful when you go out and about? And the children they're, in my opinion, they're innocent. If one day I'm at the grocery store and these two kids, you hear them hollering across from a couple aisles, Mom, look at that little guy, blah, blah, blah.
And how old were these kids?
They were no more than 8, maybe, you know. So they're, in my opinion, they're innocent. Mom immediately snatches them up and pulls them aside, and you can tell what the conversation is going on.
Sure.
Moments later, I run into them at the checkout aisle, and the kids are both just like the nun just slapped their hands, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, it's killing you. So go ahead and ask me anything you want.
Yeah, good for you.
Ask
Good
me.
for you.
And my opinion, my thought is if I can break down that barrier.
Sure.
Because if you're going to make me out to be like, shh, shh, shh,
Yeah.
then no one's going to talk.
Exactly. You don't want that.
Yeah,
you know.
I don't want to
You're
be
a normal guy.
alienated
You know,
by children. And in return, these kids now will go out and oh no, that's just, you know, blah, 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 and spread the wealth out.
So did these kids open up to you a little bit?
The funny story, because they both sat there and just kind of stared, and finally the son goes, is it hard to get stuff down off the counter? I was like, caught me off guard, because usually it's like, why are you so short, or why do you have, you know. But yeah, that one was like,
and you said, well, you come to my house and you see a pair of tongs laying there, just leave them alone. Don't be touching my stuff. So, all right, so what would you say to people? I mean, in general, saying, hey, look, you know, I'm a little person. This is what I want you to know. This is what I want you to think. Besides, stop filming me behind my back. Oh, my God.
Last weekend.
You gotta go back and slap those people.
I'm at the Safeway parking lot, and I'm walking from out to my car.
Yeah.
And this car slow rolls down the window long enough to hear some rubbish song about shoddy this and shoddy that, and kind of gives me that little grin, like, you know, kind of thing. It's like, rolls your eyes, like, let me introduce you to that Newman guy about, what was that song that he used to do, Short People Have...
Yeah, short people have no reason to...
Get me started at that.
Yeah.
And then I go to McDonald's later. Oh, I shouldn't mention names, but I go to a fast food joint later, and in the drive-thru, this happens more often than not, you get the one cashier that will take your money. And by the time you go to pick up your food, you have half the store kind of doing one of these things like, oh, is this order? What do I need to get? You know?
Oh, grow up,
everyone
people.
taking peeks. And so the reason I'm coming on here tonight, or today, other than just to spread, you know, the news, is maybe that will help. You know, once you see it, it lessens the excitement value, the interesting value. You start to see the person that I'm just like any one of us, just trying to make a living, trying to raise the family, trying to, you know, get my groceries.
All right, well, appreciate it. But hey, I'm talking with Bob Stowell. Bob's a little person, as you can see. He's been very, very happy to have him on today, and very appreciative of his willingness to open up. But hey, we got to take a break. We'll come back and say goodbye, but stick around. We will be right back.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new midsize Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Okay, Bob, hey, thanks very much, my friend. Pleasure to meet you. Thanks for coming on, and thanks very much for opening up. But hey, street talk and other stuff. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Get ready to go across America meeting the next generation of star athletes. We'll begin in Texas with a 5-star quarterback. And we'll also hear from a top wide receiver in Indiana and a rising signal caller in Arizona. We'll make a stop in Chicago for one of the country's best volleyball players, and former Oklahoma running back Marcus Dupree will chat with us in this week's Journey to Greatness. That's all coming up next on Sports Stars of Tomorrow. Welcome to the show that introduces you to the next generation of star athletes. I'm Charles Davis. The list of NFL quarterbacks from the state of Texas is an impressive one. This year, the top signal